avoiding hanging out with them or being in their presence. Hello, you beautiful human. I am Xanthe, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some signs that might help you figure out whether you are actually bisexual or if you're a lesbian. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about different signs that might help you decipher whether or not you're bisexual or if you're actually a lesbian. So I have written down some different signs for you here on my handy dandy notebook. And so basically, I'll just be going through them, and hopefully they help you with deciphering what you feel more comfortable identifying as and what just sits better for you. So this video has actually stemmed from another video that I made like a while back. It's been getting a lot more views recently and a ton of comments asking my advice on things and whether or not I think they're bisexual or lesbian. Obviously, I can never just say, oh yeah, you're definitely bisexual or you're definitely a lesbian. Like, that's not really how it works. It's you who deciphers that, but I can kind of help guide them to that point and kind of validate what they're feeling, basically. Obviously, everything that you're feeling is valid. It's just sometimes it's hard to validate your own feelings. So I thought to make a video kind of generalizing all the comments that I've been getting to hopefully help you better in deciphering whether or not you're lesbian or bisexual. So this video is probably for people who are identifying right now as bisexual, or you're not even sure if you're gay, because especially when I was a young gay figuring out my sexuality, I definitely identified as bisexual for a couple of years. I was never out as bisexual, it's just I identified myself as bisexual, which is different than being out, obviously. I didn't want to be out because I didn't want to kind of commit to one thing and then change my mind later, which a lot of people would probably disagree with me on with this, but I personally think that your sexuality is a now identity, and like, sure, you can change what you identify as. I mean, I still think that you're born as being gay or bisexual or whatever, but it might just take you a longer time to figure that out. And if you have to switch between bisexual, lesbian, pansexual, asexual, it's perfectly fine. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. You're the only one who knows the answer. And as long as you're happy and as long as you feel comfortable in what you identify as, then that's all that really matters. Everybody else's opinions don't really matter, to be honest, to be frank. Obviously, other people care about you and love you and try to help. It's just sometimes not very helpful to hear things like, oh, well, you can't just change your mind willy-nilly, or, oh, well, that's not valid because you've been with a guy before, or whatever. And so it's just a thing. And just keep in mind that your sexuality is a now identity, and as long as you're happy with who you are, that's really all that matters. So let's get into the different signs. So I've been getting a lot of questions about these females who have been with guys, like boyfriends, and they're like, yeah, I just don't feel much physical attraction toward them, or I'm not like physically attracted to them. It's mostly emotional. And that could be a sign that you're actually lesbian. The only difference is that with men, like, it's perfectly fine to just feel like emotional attraction. Obviously, that you do not have to have sexual relations at all. I mean, obviously that's up to you. But some people, well, are not asexual, and asexual just means that you don't feel any desire to have any sexual relations with anyone. Obviously, there's more detail that goes into that description, but I am not personally asexual, so I cannot personally speak on it. Anywho, but that might be a sign that if you're not, like, sexually attracted to them, physically attracted to them, You might be lesbian. Anyway, so one sign is that you might not just be physically attracted to them. Obviously, just everything that I say right now, you do not need to like base all of your decisions on what I'm saying. I'm just one opinion. Please go keep researching, soul searching, everything. Do not just base everything on this one video. But yeah, hopefully I can be a helping hand in your discovery. Okay, so there's also a sign if you don't feel any desire to kiss them. So I found that when I was having a crush on a girl, if we got really close, let's say we were hugging, or actually I was in a musical with my girlfriend, and we were like supposed to be like acting super excited and like holding hands and like yay, like really close together, and I just remember thinking like, oh my gosh, I could literally kiss her right now. Like, we are so close, I could literally kiss her right now. Obviously I didn't, because you don't just go around kissing people randomly, but like I felt that desire to want to kiss her. And with the guys, I think I would be mostly attracted to their personality rather than physically, like I said earlier. And so I would never really feel the desire to actually kiss them. So that also might be a sign. I did get a couple comments asking about that, so hopefully that helps. Obviously, again, there are so many sexualities, so many identities that you can't base everything on what I'm saying, but hopefully it helps. So yeah, that is another sign that if you don't feel any desire really to kiss a guy, you might be lesbian. Obviously that can also depend on the guy, but yes, there you go. Like I said before, I wrote this down here, so no desire for any sexual relations. So with a girl, obviously, that isn't like something that you would just like think about all the time, like first off when you have a crush on someone. But like you feel comfortable enough with someone that you could think about it, right? And you could see that it's a possibility. Let's say like if, like with my girlfriend, if I, like when I first started dating her, I was like, oh, well, like there is a possibility that there could be sexual relations there, and I can like not be disgusted by it. I can like think about it and talk about it fine. But if I had a crush on a guy, I would, first of all, not have any desire to kiss them, and I wouldn't, like, it would never cross my mind to have any sexual relations with them. I couldn't imagine it. I don't want to imagine it. So that could also be a sign. Avoiding things, such as holding hands for a long time, or PDA, public display of affection. You might be trying to avoid doing that, so you know in your heart that you aren't completely comfortable with being with this guy, and so you don't really want to show it off to the world, maybe. So you don't want to publicize it. Is that a word? I don't know. But you don't want to make it public. And so that could also be a sign of not wanting to be with a guy. But that is also kind of different as well in the community, because even with my girlfriend, like I want to hold her hand. I guess instinctively drop her hand if someone's like walking by. And that's kind of more out of like the fear that's kind of just put into our heads, because I mean history can show that not so nice things have happened. Obviously, like, I know that I would be safe, and I know that like now like so many people know I'm in a relationship with who I'm in a relationship with, but like at the beginning it was really hard to like hold her hand or any PDA. Even now I'm just kind of awkward about PDA in general. But anyway, but if you try to like avoid PDA, or you try to avoid making it public, even on social media, that might be a sign that you're just trying to not show it because you don't feel completely comfortable. Another thing is just avoiding hanging out with them, or being in their presence. So maybe you're like, oh, well, you're making excuses to yourself, like, oh, well, I'm busy this night, so maybe tomorrow, but then you're like, oh, sorry, I have homework or work or something. And so, yeah, just trying to make excuses to kind of validate your feelings, which is also the next sign. So, you make excuses to validate your feelings. So, if you don't want to kiss him, maybe you're like, oh, well, I'm just not ready. Or the same with sexual relations, which obviously is completely valid to not be ready, obviously. I'm just saying that maybe in your head you know that you would be ready, but not with him. Maybe he's just not the right guy. Maybe I don't like beards, or like anything. You just try to come up with excuses to kind of validate your feelings, which goes with society, which also is the next point. Society makes you obviously feel that being straight is normal because it is the norm, it is the majority. Or sorry, not even the quotes, it is the majority. So there is a lot of the time internalized homophobia, where you're like, oh, like, I'm okay with like gays or whatever, but like I would never be gay. Like that's gross. That's not okay for me. Like I'm okay with other people, just not me. And that goes with making excuses and trying to validate your feelings yet again. So it's just a sign that maybe this is kind of more knowing if you're part of the community, because if you're trying to decipher between bisexual and lesbian, obviously you're going to make excuses to not be lesbian, but it wouldn't be like the whole, oh, I'm not okay with being gay. Yeah. I don't know if that made any sense, but I hope it did. Yeah, basically just making excuses. Oh, well, I need to keep my options open, you know, like in case I like a guy. Which is why I did it, because I'm like, well, if I change my mind, people are gonna be like angry at me for changing my mind. Yeah, I mean, honestly, my sexuality doesn't really like matter anymore because I'm with my girlfriend, so the only thing that matters is that I love her and that we're in a relationship and that we're happy. It just happens that we're both girls. But yeah, honestly, just as long as you're happy with who you are and eventually who you're with, or if you're already with someone, then that's really all that matters. You can't really relate to bisexuals. So a lot of people who are bisexual talk about the percentages. A huge stereotype is that it's 50-50. That is not true, according to most bisexuals, or all bisexuals that I know. They're like, oh, it's more like 60-40 or 70-30. But if you can't really relate to them talking about that, if you're more like, it's like 199, like, you're like, I need to keep some room in there for guys, but I'm not really like looking for that, it could be a sign that you're actually lesbian, that you can't really relate to them or their stories or their percentages. Yeah. Also, I've heard that your attraction toward men and women are different. So maybe with men you're more attracted to, let's say, abs or beard, or like them, I don't know, holding the door open for you. And then with girls, you're more interested, or you're more attracted to, let's say, short hair, or maybe how they act. Like maybe they're really romantic, or just different things. Apparently it's just like a different attractions to each gender, which makes sense. But yeah, if you can't really relate to any of that, then you might be a lesbian. And then the last one that I could come up with is that you feel the desire to kiss a girl. You feel the desire to hold her hand. When you hold her hand, it's like the sparks, and it's just a wonderful feeling. When you kiss her, it's like the most amazing feeling. When you even just hug her, it's just like, oh my goodness. Obviously, you know, everything that happens when you have a crush on someone, or you're in a relationship with someone. Yeah, you just feel more connected with women. I hope this video helped somewhat. I know it was kind of vague, but it's really hard to kind of umbrella everything like that you can with different signs of actually being a lesbian instead of bisexual. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like so I know that you like this kind of content. Subscribe for more videos every week. I post every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can follow me on Instagram. We can chat. If you have any further questions, feel free to comment them down below or send them to me at my Instagram. Also, I have a Patreon account, which basically means that I post content on there pretty regularly. I would say like weekly. I post bloopers, I post just regular blog kind of things, kind of just what's happening in my life. I have a chat community, early access to videos, so instead of watching my videos on Saturdays, you can watch them on Fridays. Just different things like that, and that is also in the link below, so you can go check that out and become a member. But yeah, I really hope this helped. I love you so much. Please, any further questions, comment them down below, and yeah, I will see you next week with my new video. But in the meantime, here is a video you can go check out, and I'll see you in there. Okay, see you there. Have a wonderful day. Okay, bye-bye.